Hey, it's Matt Adair with Petty Cash Racing. Tune into the XJ Talk Show to find out more about our team and the Jeep we all love.
Howdy, boys and girls. This is Tony with the XJ Talk Show. This is going to be episode 171 tonight, and Tammy, Josh, and I are in the midst of getting the show together. Actually, I think they're all ready to go. They're just waiting on me, as usual. So sit back. If you're listening or watching on the YouTube channel, please join us over at the xjtalkshow.com, where you'll have a chat room and be able to watch and listen. Don't have to chat, but, I think it'd be fun if you did. And for those of you that have been asking, this is a song by, I say Lame Ass, but it's Lamass, and it's called Sweet Dream. Tammy, I think what we'll do on the Amazon You Bought What is Josh and I will do the read the items, and it'll be your job to crack wise.
It'll be my job to what?
Crack wise, to make comments.
Oh, okay.
Or otherwise make fun of us or the things that we're talking about.
Kind of like you did last time, I believe.
Yeah. Don't pull any punches now.
That's a coveted position, at least for me.
The wisecracker?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Looking for the next quick Jeep tip. I have to break down and do a search. So you only have one quick Jeep tip in there. I'm going to put the second one right underneath it. That way you can move it where you want to put it.
Okay, I thought I had another one somewhere. Where did I put that other one?
If you did.
Oh, no, I know what I did. I substituted a quick Jeep tip for John's quick radio contact.
Okay, so you don't want to do two quick Jeep tips like what we what you were saying?
Yeah, I suppose we could do that. And we'll just, okay, I'll put it somewhere.
Thank you.
Hey, during fireside chat,
yeah,
can I quick mention what I'm making, what's purple this week?
Of course.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Everybody needs something to talk about. You don't have to, but you should.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that until I saw somebody commented on Google Plus about they can't wait to see what I made purple.
I mean, you teased it last week.
I know, I forgot.
Okay. Remember, teasing is good, not following through, bad.
I know.
Don't want the audience to go, what the hell? It was purple. She was going to talk about it. So I was telling Josh about this last week, and I found it interesting. We don't get anywhere close to this, but I was surprised how well we did in December, Christmas time. And there's a podcast, a guy that does a podcast called Audacity to Podcast, a little play on the Audacity editing software name. And he posted that he made about $1,200 during Christmas time last year. And he's got an award-winning podcast, as he says, and et cetera, et cetera. It's a good podcast. I listen to it to just keep up on ideas about podcasting in general. And I was surprised where ours was compared to where his was, a seasoned veteran of podcasting and seemingly a much larger audience than we have. But we do have a good-sized audience. But nonetheless, I was pretty happy.
Happy comparing your audience to his and how they're pretty similar?
How many dollars we got from Amazon, our Amazon affiliation, and people purchasing Amazon stuff after clicking our banner. So if you check your chat, I actually put the amount in there. It gives you an idea of where we were compared to where he was. I mean, $1,200 is nice, but
right.
Anytime somebody remembers to click on on a banner that you put up, just hey, click on this, and we get a few cents, and enough people do it. It's really very flattering. Well, let's see. What did Josh pick? You pick anything yet, Josh? For Amazon, you bought what?
Oh yeah, they're in there.
Okay. So the two that you have there are the ones you picked.
Yes, sir.
All right. See, that's what Tammy needs. Although the locking hood hinge, I wonder if that means it locks it in place. I was going to say if
no, it's. I don't know why it says locking hood hinge, but it's really just a lift for or a mounting location for your high lift. And it uses the TJ's hood or hood hinges.
Gotcha.
I have a high lift jack.
Very good. I believe every off-roader should have one.
Yeah, where do you put it?
It's in the garage right now.
Yep.
It's in the ball bin with the basketballs. Actually, somebody sent it to me for free.
Is it an actual high lift?
Uh-huh.
Okay, good. Because there are several brands out there that are not high lifts, but they look similar.
Yeah, even Harbor Freight has one.
Yeah, check the brand name.
I posted a picture on my Instagram page a while back when I got it.
So let's see. We did the Amazon You Bought What last on the 12th, and I'm looking at stuff, and I'm sitting here going, I remember these things.
Yeah, you read about those.
So I need to limit my selection here. Wow.
I need to tell my husband. He orders tons of stuff from Amazon. I need to tell him to click on your link.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And if he ever goes to buy a yacht or a large passenger plane, definitely click on that link first. Oh, somebody bought a TV.
Oh, nice. We haven't had one of those in a while.
A Sleeky.
Yeah, he just bought a tent. Some camera cards for my new GoPro lookalike.
I don't want to give it away because this is part of the story that she was talking about, or the story that she was talking about for the campfire side chat. But she just can't let go of the stolen item.
It was stolen.
It fell off.
Swear. I think there's only one other person who agrees with me.
Is it your husband? Because he's got to.
No, I know. No, there's somebody on Google Plus who says that it had to have been stolen because they would have taken both. Or they...
If it was stolen, it was a kid.
Yeah, well, that's what he says, too.
Just the one voicemail?
That's one.
Tony?
Just one, yeah.
Okay.
That roll of tinfoil that we sent Nikki G must be working. So as I was saying earlier, guys, getting a bit of a late start. I know that's something that you don't hear quite enough of, but we're getting close. I don't think I've ever heard that name brand TV before, but more and more people getting involved with those things. Oh, looks like somebody bought a mixer. A mini mixer.
So how does that work? If my husband were to go, he goes to your site.
Yeah, you can go over to xjtalk.com or xjtalkshow.com, and there will be a Amazon little banner, little picture, if you will, and you click on that, and it takes you over to Amazon.com.
Oh, click here before making your purchases to Amazon. Okay.
Yep, and then once you go over there, any purchase you make, we'll get a little piece of that little.
So he can log into his regular account.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, all you have to do is click on that link, and then any purchases made in the next 24 hours are credited to our account. And
so 24 hours from
when he clicks on the image.
Oh, okay.
So basically, price is the same as it would be even if you didn't click on the image. It's just kind of like we get a percentage because of our ability to sell a product. They give us a little something, and it can range anywhere from 4% to 10%. So the percentages are good. Generally speaking, it's 4%. You'll hear me talk about the the prices on the items here in a minute. But like that TV that I was just talking about, which you would think would be a high dollar item, and it was $389. Is that what they purchased it for? I think we made like $15 off of that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is great. But it's not
That's
like
awesome.
$50 or anything.
$15 is more than I thought you would get.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's just I don't want people thinking that it really is just a few cents on each one, but we don't get that many big ticket items like that, as you can well imagine. You're gonna have to look at this little mixer, Josh. It's like a single mic input, and
Yeah, I know the person who bought that, and he's got a segment in tonight's show. He and I were
okay.
discussing it a little bit in chat the other day.
Okay, yeah, I saw that back and forth about PMs. I figured you guys were talking bad about my red Jeep, but apparently it was this.
Don't flatter yourself. Hey, you got another?
Somebody's got to.
You got another couple minutes of stuff you need to do? Or another 30 seconds at least?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I just
Okay, I need to refill my water. I'm not going to have enough for tonight's show.
Yeah, go right ahead. I need to come up with a little device called the podcaster irrigator, and it basically is like an oversized hamster water feed, and, and you just have this big tube next to the podcaster. You can reach over there and grab some water out of a large container.
Well, you and Josh could wear those hats, with the where you can put the cans and the straws come down to your mouths.
That's true.
Have you seen?
And why does it have to be me and Josh? You could be part of this. You're supposed to be part of this.
Mine would be a flask for my wine.
Oh, did you do that tonight? Paint some stuff?
Oh, no, not tonight.
You were supposed to, right? I thought there was another.
Yeah, the other night, last Thursday night. So now I'm thinking of having a wine glass painting party at my house. Because you can get the wine glasses at IKEA for $1 a piece.
Ah.
Yeah, and you just need to go find the glass paint.
It's a profit deal.
I could host parties and charge people and make money.
So, do they do any etching of the glass? Because I was thinking you could actually etch it and then paint the etching.
Oh, that would be cool. No, not at this. The place where we went wasn't very. I don't know. They didn't really help you. They just said, "Here's some paint. And here's a wine glass. Have fun." And the only little tidbit I got was use a pencil eraser, and dip it in the paint. It has to be like a new pencil eraser, and that can be used for dots instead of trying to paint little circles. But that was like the only help. Otherwise, it was kind of a waste of instruction.
Yeah, you're in a rough place when they tell you don't drink the paint, just drink the wine.
Yeah.
But it's okay to eat the paste, right?
Yes. And sniff the glue.
Just making sure.
Well, actually, you eat the paste and then sniff the breath of the person that's eating the paste next to you.
Well, Tony, are we all ready to go?
No. Do you have your water?
Yes.
You want to drink fast and get some more? I was doing something here.
No, then I'm going to have to get up in the middle of the show and pay back the water I've been renting.
Yep. See, if we need to get another sponsor from Depends.
Jeez.
There we go. I needed the price in there. Got a long podcast? Let Depends help you out. It's more than hell. And now for the kids, the new SpongeBob Depends.
Now, I made some chicken habanero meatballs tonight, and they're just it's still kind of there on my tongue,
percolating.
Charles on the is a first time visitor. He's on the whatchamacallit? Chat room. Thank you. He's like, "Is this normal? It's my first visit."
It depends on what your value of normal is. Now I have to adjust.
I think they're talking about the music, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Well,
said something's very distracting.
You'll have to understand that the music that we use has to be copyright free. And so, we get what we can to play on the show.
That's true. He's very distracting.
All right. Okay. Now I got to adjust Tammy's video real quick. For some reason, she is zoomed out.
Yes, I felt like it was on my head.
No. It's not
shot.
that. It's actually the screen capture that I'm doing. It's not zoomed in. It's really strange. I must have done this and then not saved it last time. Although I thought I saved the thing. Relatively easy to fix for a super genius. Or me.
And that was Wile E. Coyote's tagline in the old Looney Tunes cartoons.
As Josh would say, a timely reference.
Yes, indeed.
Everybody disco. Oh, we're 5 minutes over the normal start time. Ah, man. Damn it. It's gonna take me a little bit longer. I don't know what happened with the editing here on the setup of the video stuff. Ooh, I got lucky. I found it really quick. Again, not bad for a super genius. Now it's going to get Josh in the right position. It sounded worse.
Would I help if I just kept moving around quite a bit?
Actually,
I'm going in and out.
Actually, I'm going by the box, so I'm getting your box lined up.
You leave my box out of this.
And nobody remarked on how Tammy's audio worked first off, so you know. You're welcome.
Knock on wood. Don't curse us.
Oh, they'll
it's
be
not
cursing.
Like you, Tony, to not create extra work for yourself.
Well, you know, I try. Okay, so let's see. I need to get my little timer going. Josh, do you have your timer ready?
I sure do.
And I forgot to send that over to Tammy.
Well, she's got access to the Dropbox, don't you, Tammy?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if she's got access to. I need to set her up for access to the XJ Talk folder. Okay, I'm going to close a few things up and we'll get started here.
All right.
I can just put the timer on my clock. Phone.
Yeah, I think Wile E. Coyote actually said "stupor genius," stupor genius, because you know, he had like a speech impediment. Alrighty, so oh no, my box is not sized properly. Audio this time. Let's remember our touch typing.
I know, I'm sorry.
Shh.
Alrighty, so okay, that's ready, and so we'll be doing I'm sure it's in the show notes, but we'll be doing the standard roll-in tonight with the the stuff that we do normally. And
I'll be sure to throw in my very well-timed wave.
Crap. something's up with your chroma key, Josh.
No, there's not.
Yeah, I guess the lighting is a little different than what it normally is, because I got some gray up above your head and sparklies in the upper your right-hand corner. Yeah. Let me try adjusting the chroma key first before you start messing with the lighting.
Okay.
Yeah, save all these settings, damn it. Why do they change? Alrighty. Now the dog's getting ready to start barking because people are getting home. Oh, there we go. All right. Sorry, false start. All right. So everybody ready?
Indubitably.
The XJ Talk Show is for entertainment purposes only. Any advice or information provided on this show should be verified by alternative sources prior to making any changes or modifications to your vehicle. We are not experts, just people that enjoy the Jeep hobby and don't mind talking endlessly about it. P.S. We love you.
XJ Talk Show is on the air. Okay, it's a podcast. Oh, you know what I mean. Anyway, here's Tony and Josh.
First Week in Jeep.
Well, Jeepers, we've got a whole bunch of Easter Jeep Safari news for you tonight. Tread Lightly is looking for volunteers to help during their Restoration for Recreation project during Easter Jeep Safari in Moab this year. Restoration for Recreation was designed to keep the great outdoors healthy, accessible, and open to the public by providing much-needed resources for restoration, maintenance, and new construction, along with education and outreach initiatives to help America's public agencies better manage sustainable outdoor recreation. The program was established in '97 to generate voluntary funding from the private sector. And since then, its partners from both the private and public sectors, as well as their volunteers, have been building bridges, improving maps and signage, and restoring damaged areas and degraded trails into enjoyable recreation resources. This year, Tread Lightly and their partners are coming together for a day of wheeling and restoration during the 2015 Easter Jeep Safari at Wipeout Hill on the 7-mile Rim Trail. Tread Lightly and their volunteers will be constructing approximately 1/2 mile of fencing along 7-mile Rim Trail and around Wipeout Hill to keep the area looking natural and to help clearly identify the trail in order to protect the public's access and opportunities to enjoy the very popular trail and scenic overlook. If you'll be in Moab Easter Jeep Safari this year, please volunteer and help Tread Lightly keep our trails open to the public for future generations to enjoy. For more information on how you guys can help, please visit treadlightly.org/programs/restoration for recreation. And Jeep isn't the only ones unveiling a rig at Easter Jeep Safari this year. J.C. Whitney today announced that it is taking its centennial celebration on the road with the unveiling of its 2015 Jeep Rubicon project at the Easter Jeep Safari in Moab, Utah. Known as the largest Jeep gathering in the West, the Jeep Safari is a famous and challenging spectacle that attracts a worldwide gathering of off-roaders. J.C. Whitney offers one of the most comprehensive selections of auto parts and accessories in the world and have been around as long as I can remember. On March 30th, J.C. Whitney's Centennial team will arrive in Moab to roll out a stock Jeep that's been turned into a world-class off-road athlete, thanks in part to products from sponsors such as Bestop, Lund, Flowmaster, Weston, Covercraft, PowerStop, Yukon Gear, Rancho, B&M, and more, all equipment that makes J.C. Whitney's Project Jeep ready to handle the toughest of the 50 Moab trails available. As part of the celebration, J.C. Whitney employees will be at the Jeep Expo at the Spanish Trail Arena on April 2nd through the 3rd, answering questions, handing out free catalogs, and offering exclusive discounts on purchases of the latest Jeep parts and accessories. Jeep fans can follow the Jeep build and the unveiling at the J.C. Whitney Centennial site at 100.jcwhitney.com. Hey, big thanks to all of you out there who continue to help out by submitting stories to This Week in Jeep. If you think you got something that we should report on, well, let us know about it. Or if you got a response to any one of our stories, by all means, please let us know. Send an email to newstips@xjtalkshow.com.
Josh, that was a short news tip. I mean,
well, we've got a lot of show for our fans tonight, Tony. I figured I'd just throw a couple out there for them, and we've got a lot of stuff to fit in tonight, so I figured we'll keep it short.
All right. Well, I guess so.
xjtalk.com is where you go when you're not off-road. And now you can go to xjtalk.com when you're off-road too. Using your smartphone, install the Tap a Talk app, then search for XJ Talk. Take XJ Talk with you wherever you go. Jury duty, dinner with your spouse's parents, even, well, anywhere you need your XJ Talk fix.
My name's fucking Audrey, kid, and you're listening to the XJ Talk Show.
Hey guys, coming up in just a few minutes, I'm going to tell you everything I went through to install some new LED lights on my Rubicon. And later I'll give you a review on the Raxium 3-inch LED light, so stick around.
All righty. Well, that's great. We're looking forward to that, Tammy. And let's take a moment here to introduce ourselves. My name's Tony. I am part of the XJ Talk Show along here with Josh and Tammy. And, well, we appreciate you joining us tonight. And hopefully you're going over to xjtalk.com and the xjtalkshow.com. Hopefully you're at xjtalk.com right now and xjtalkshow.com in our chat room and watching the show live. If you don't know about that, we're on live every Thursday night, 10 p.m. Central Time. And the interesting thing here is that Josh is over on the East Coast, Tammy's on the West Coast, so we got it covered coast to coast. And yes, I did that on purpose.
Yeah, I was going to say a little bass backwards there. But yeah, I'm from the Pacific Northwest, guys, reside in Oregon. And we're all three of us in different time zones. I am Josh. You guys know me as Northwest 99XJ or NW99XJ over at xjtalk.com and pretty much just about every other Jeep site out on the web. Tons of information over at xjtalk.com. If you are a Jeeper, if you know somebody who's a Jeeper, whether you were a new Jeeper or a veteran Jeeper, by all means, turn them on or turn yourself on to xjtalk.com. Lots of info, lots of professionals over there, a ton of builds, great pictures, great advice, and the most important thing, there's no flaming. No such thing as a stupid question over there, guys, and we'd love to have you over there. So if you haven't visited the forum yet, by all means, go check it out right now, xjtalk.com.
And I'm Tammy, also known as Jeep Mama, and you can catch out more of my story on my blog at www.jeepmama.com. And I'm very excited to join Tony and Josh on this awesome podcast and adding a little Wrangler talk to the XJ Talk Show.
Yeah, well, it's all about Jeeps, and Josh and I just happen to have Cherokees, and I personally love the Wrangler. Wrangler was the first Jeep that I was planning on getting, and if it hadn't been for our two little girls at the time, that's what we would have had. But we have one now, but my wife gets to drive that one. I could drive it, I guess, anytime I want to, but it's her vehicle. I like leaving it for her to drive, and I have a tendency to drive the vehicles a little harder than what she does. So it's good to have.
I think a lot of guys are that way.
Yeah, it's good to have one fully functional vehicle at all times.
It'll last longer
absolutely.
now.
Yes. Well, yours may not last so long. You've taken Tammy has taken hers off road. Tammy's a brand new Jeeper, really, just a couple of years, and she's the off-roader in the family. In fact, I think it's only been recently that your kids have gone off-roading with you.
Yeah, just once each of them. So it's not as cool going with mom, I think, as it would be going with dad.
I don't know. I think it's cooler. I think the whole idea, I could really get behind that as a kid, especially a 16-year-old. Soon there would be you would hear of fights about. She said she said he said something bad about my mom driving off road, and I had to straighten him out. So I'm sure those things will change, especially as you do more modifications to your Jeep.
It was funny because I was picking them up from school, and some girls were walking home, who I've known since they were like little babies. And I said, "Do you guys want to ride?" And one of the girls hopped in the Jeep, and she's like, "Oh my God, this is so cool!" And I looked over at my son and hit him on the arm, and I said, "See, I told you."
That's a mom thing. You should never do that. You do that after the girl gets out of the Jeep. Alrighty, well let's move on to some of our a voicemail from Nikki G. We always love those.
Oh yeah.
Hey, this is Tony.
And this is Josh from the XJ Talk Show. We want to thank you for calling our 24/7 voice line.
Yes, we do. Just leave your first name and your question or comment.
There's no guarantee, but we may play your message on the podcast.
Oh, and don't worry about keeping it clean. We'll take care of that.
Now it's your turn to speak at the beep.
Hey, this is Nikki G, and just want to officially congratulate Tammy and welcome her to the team. I promise I will not force you to fill out a restraining order. And I'd like to thank you, Tony, for mentioning my YouTube video that I posted of me goofing around on work. I had to take it down because I filled out a non-disclosure form. And when management got on me and I had to go through arbitration with it, and if my union representative recommended that I take it down, but it's all over now, so if I get to the computer, I'll put it back up. And just want to remind everybody, no matter how bad of a job you think you have, the worst job on this planet is my union representative. Can you imagine going every week and defending me? And I'll tell you, 18 years that I've been a union member, I have never once called in sick to work. I called out because I was abducted by aliens. I've missed work because I was a key witness in a federal investigation, which I can't mention for national security.
Yes.
And I've missed work because a tornado lifted my house off its foundation and set it somewhere where I didn't know where I was at. And, I make them guys work for their dues. And someday we'll have to go in detail all about it. I guess that's not really Jeep related. So I guess Denver D1's probably dialing right now. And I guess I can't call you guys anymore since Tammy's on the team. But due to her Northeast heritage, I'll refer to you as yous guys. So yous guys have a good one, and I'll chat you later. Bye.
I wish we could get Nikki G on the show live. I think he works at about this time, though. I think he's a second shift person. And for you guys that are not aware, Nikki G moves commercial planes around at the airport. So the video he was talking about, if you hadn't seen some of the little clips that we had been using from his long video that he had posted on YouTube, he's basically doing all these shenanigans on this commercial aircraft, empty. It's just Nikki G and a large commercial aircraft, and the hilarity ensues. I'm sorry, Josh, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, if people would like to leave a message like Nikki G does every week, you can call our 24/7 voicemail line at 530-675-4102, and that is just a voicemail line, meaning nobody's going to answer that except for our answering machine, which you can talk to all night long if you want.
Well, and
drunk or sober.
At 3-minute intervals.
Right.
So you have about 3 minutes of time to leave a message. And you can also use SpeakPipe, which is on the XJ Talk Show website. And I think that one's about a minute and a half. Again, Nikki G pressing the limits of the timer. He's actually the one that told us it's about a minute and a half for the SpeakPipe. So your mileage may vary. So now let's get over to some YouTube love.
Oh, yeah. Well, guys, we've been saying for a while now, we are somewhere between 800 and 1,000 subscribers. I'm not going to give specifics, but it's going to be up to you to get those numbers up over that hump. And we're, knocking on the door of about 250,000 views. So definitely keep up the work, guys. New content getting thrown up all the time. And there's some interesting stuff over there. So by all means, if you haven't subscribed yet, do so right now. And we pull 4 names out of the hat each and every week of our subscribers, and we'd like to just give them a little bit of a shout out to say thank you. First on the list tonight, Tony, who do we got?
Yankee Zulu 777.
And we got a JZPR or Jizper 1981.
Scott E. Gibson.
Oh, that's a good one right there. And I'm going to guess Renee Guiganard.
It's
Guiganard.
Yeah. No, I can't say it. It's one of the first members on xjtalk.com. Oh man, it's right on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, it's foreign, so we don't care. Anyway, you didn't call it. It's actually Rini.
Not true.
It's actually his first name is his first name is Rini. I called him Renee, and I called him Renee about 10 times at an outing, and he corrected me while we were videotaping. So,
well, Rini, I'm sorry for butchering your name, but that's what I do here best on our little YouTube subscriber segment, and well, that's half the fun.
Gaganard. There's actually a picture up on XJ Talk where his Jeep is laid over on its side. He was going over a hill, and it did no damage because it was just kind of a slow roll. And he's standing next to it with going, "Hey!" with his hands in the air. So yeah, you have to. Those are some old posts. We recently celebrated our 6th anniversary of continuous operation over at xjtalk.com. So I mean, it doesn't really compare to Naxja or some of the other Jeep forums that have been around since the birth of the internet, or Al Gore's birth. Then the internet spontaneously combusted after that.
But Tony, we all know it's not the size of the boat; it's the motion of the ocean, or something like that.
Do we all know that?
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right then.
Hey folks, I'm Clyde and this is Tommy from the Pops Boys House. You're listening to the XJ Talk Show with Tony and Josh. Cheers!
You're listening to a 4x4 Radio Network podcast.
Tell you guys real quick about the 4x4 Radio Network podcast. We haven't mentioned that in a while. Just kind of taking it for granted, and soon divorce papers will be filed. So I want to mention that the 4x4 Radio podcast is a collection of 4x4 podcasts. We only have 2 currently, but they're 2 great shows. It's the XJ Talk Show and the 4x4 podcast. And we are talking to several other 4x4 podcasts that will be joining that network, hopefully. So you can go over to 4x4radionetwork.com, and you'll see that there's actually a little player, and you can sit there and press play and listen to all the XJ Talk Show episodes. And interspersed in between there are the 4x4 podcast episodes. So you can just sit there and do stuff on your computer. Well, let's just say it. Surf the porn and listen to everything about four-wheel drives at the same time. Unless you're a woman, but you can surf porn if you're a woman, I guess.
Boy, there's a combination.
Porn and Jeeps, and, well, Jeep porn, if you will.
This is Steve, 4.3 LXJ, with a quick Jeep tip. Always carry your cell phone. Sometimes you'll be in areas where you can't have cell reception, but a lot of times if you're down in a valley or anything, even in remote areas, you can hike to the top of a mountain and use your cell phone to call for help, because at the tops of mountains there's usually some kind of cell coverage.
I would say that's probably true, and I don't know. Can't imagine going anywhere without a cell phone. Can you, Josh?
Yeah, no, I think let's see, I've had my Galaxy S5 now for about a year or so, and I have only forgotten it at home once, and good golly, I felt naked.
That was like forgetting to put on deodorant or putting on pants.
Worse, yes. I would think. I can walk out the house without pants. I might get tackled eventually, but probably arrested. But no, I can live with that. Without my cell phone, man, I'm fully addicted.
So, thinking of something that's completely inappropriate that I'm not going to say. So,
well, speaking of addictions, we've got a segment here that you guys are soon going to be addicted to. It's Wrangler Talk with Jeep Mama.
Yes. So let's get with Jeep Mama and see what's going on in the Wrangler world.
Well, Tony and Josh, I discovered a little Wrangler secret last week I didn't know about. And I also learned a new skill when I was wiring up my LED lights. So I'll get to the little secret and the new skill here in a minute. But first, did you know there are so many options out there when it comes to placing off-road lights on your Jeep, at least on the Wrangler anyway. I can't speak for other Jeeps. I had no idea. So yeah, you guys probably knew that, but I didn't. So anyway, I received a pair of Raxium 3-inch LED lights from Extreme Terrain. And most folks would place the lights on the front bumper. And as with anything I do, I posed the question to the Jeep community on my blog. And I was struggling with the decision on where I wanted to put these lights because I did not want to drill holes in my bumper to hide the wires. And I didn't want to use zip ties to secure the wires down on the bumper. So ultimately, I went with the A-pillars. The A-pillar idea actually was the minority of the votes. And most people said that I should put them on the front bumper right over where the winch would go. But also some people suggested the rear, which I thought, gosh, that's a good idea. So I think that's going to be where I'm going to put my next set of lights. But anyway, so I installed them on my A-pillars because hiding the wires was easy. And I liked the look of these lights up on my windshield. And the light install and wiring did intimidate me, but I was using a wire kit. And once I started wiring them up with the wiring kit, it made it so much easier. The light install was super easy. Normally, Jeep modifications and installs don't always need to be so complicated. I seem to get a little overwhelmed at the thought of modifying my Jeep, but truthfully, a lot of the changes are quite simple. With just a few tools and a little patience on my part. And I just need to remember to take a deep breath. And there's that Jeep community out there that's always there to help me through these changes. One thing I had a hard time finding was the firewall hole to get the light switch into the interior of my Jeep. Now, this is something that I looked and I couldn't find it. And finally, I, went to the Jeep community on the forums and I asked, hey, where's this firewall hole? And immediately I got my answer. So this is the little Wrangler secret that I was told about. And actually, there's two of these holes in my Rubicon. One is on the passenger side. All I had to do was remove the side panel of my dash, and there it was. I mean, who knew? You guys probably did, but I didn't, but I do now. So anyway, on the driver's side, there's a little rubber grommet hole in the engine compartment that comes out under the steering wheel, I believe. I haven't been able to check out where it does come out. But I'm glad I got to know this cool little secret. And I made an install video, and it's on YouTube, and it includes my first wiring attempt. It was pointed out that I connected the wires wrong. So here's how it worked. I needed some extra wiring to connect the two lights together and then hook the lights to the wiring kit. And when I connected these wires together, I used the wire nuts like you would use in a home. The advice I received was to solder the wires together, then heat shrink them. And some folks suggested liquid tape and a vinyl electrical tape. And once again, I was overwhelmed with this whole soldering idea, and I was ready to take my Jeep to the mechanic to finish it. So instead, I did some research, watched some videos on soldering, and I practiced a few times. And I found out it's actually very simple once you understand the reasoning behind it. So I soldered the wires together, and then I think I may have gone just a tad overboard because after I soldered them, I heat shrunk them. Then I put the liquid tape on, and then I used the electrical tape to hook the wires together. So I think my wires are pretty secure. I also had to do this with the switch wire because when I put it through the firewall hole, I had to cut it because the switch was a little too big for the hole. So I think maybe next time I would put it through the driver's side hole because it seems to be a little bigger. And I'm really enjoying adding these aftermarket items to my Jeep. It's a huge sense of accomplishment for me that I can do this stuff myself. And I feel like starting out with these little changes, maybe someday I can do the bigger modifications. Although the idea of lifting, changing the suspension, or adding bigger tires, that intimidates me still. But right now it's baby steps. Plus I want to become more proficient with my off-roading and crawling over the rocks while I'm still stock. So a lift is in my future. It's just not in the really near future. And don't forget, you can follow my story on my blog at www.jeepmama.com. I also am on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Pinterest, Facebook, and Google+. And all my social media names are, you can find out on my blog page. Just click on the social media at the top of the page. And later on in the show, I'm going to review these lights I installed and let you know what I think about the look, the install, and how effective the lights are.
Good to know. Be looking forward to that, Tammy. And thank you very much for that. Yeah, electrical installations can be tricky if you've never done anything like that before. Obviously, the wiring kits probably came with some instructions and gave you a brief idea what you were trying to do and accomplish and all that, but it's very easy to get things mixed up if you don't have a background in electronics or have never done any kind of electrical installation before. I come from a background of nearly a decade of mobile electronics installation, and I hold high-level certifications and stuff. And so all this stuff is like, very, very, I could do it in my sleep sort of thing. And so it's very, well, yeah. And so, but it's encouraging to see others trying it for themselves, and not being afraid to just dive in and get to work with it. And, that's why, people like myself and other professionals who are on XJ Talk are out there to help you guys out, to help give people advice who haven't done that stuff before. We've all done that a million times over. Not we all, but guys like me and others. We'd love to share our advice and our skill set and everything else to help you upgrade your Jeep, and we'll take it to the next level.
And I thought I'd just mention real quick, Tammy, I think you will find whenever you ask somebody's opinion that, and I'm guilty of this too, that quite often the difference between how I did it and how I would have done it in a perfect world comes out in the advice. Sometimes I think that the advice that's given is sometimes given just to prove how smart the person is. There's probably very few people that actually twist the wires properly, because there's a whole way of doing the wires. You strip them and then twist them so it's nice, and I think which is the way I think you did it, where you wrap it on both ends, and then you have to remember to get the heat shrink tubing over the wire before you connect it, before you solder it, because then you're looking at it and going, damn, and then you break out.
How do you get this on?
Yeah, and then you have to break out the electrical tape and put that on there. So just going back to the first thing that you had done with the wire nuts, perfectly fine. All you need to do is make an electrical connection. This isn't warp technology. This isn't, you're not going to be out in space stranded because a light connection didn't work. So, right. I mean, the worst case is that, something happens where it's a short or one light goes out, and it's LED technology, so it's not going to burn out. It's just not going to.
Well, that was my fear. And my husband's like, it's not going to catch on fire.
No.
Like, but my luck, it will.
Well, and that is a good point. And I'm sure the kit was fused, and you do want to make sure that you fuse any connections, because you do not want to have a fire, because once there is a short, that wire will become like a filament inside of a light bulb. It will give off lots of light and lots of heat right before it breaks, and
usually some smoke too.
Yeah, and luckily, if you're lucky, all it does is make a nice little crispy critter, and doesn't actually start a fire in the Jeep. So you do want to be careful. But with that said, I've been wiring stuff up since before I was 16, and nothing ever caught fire. Nothing ever burned to the ground, and I've done things that were just horrible. I mean, I saw one Jeeper using electrical cord to connect, run 12-volt stuff through, which was probably overkill, but just looking up underneath the dash and seeing the kind of wire that you'd see on the back of a lamp was surprising to see. But anyway, I just thought I'd throw that in there, that there's many ways of accomplishing the same thing, and I think the fear comes in, will I get into a situation where I will not be able to accomplish this, fix it? If I don't do it right, will I be able to fix it, and will somebody else have to fix it for me? And once you get over that, where you know that you can fix it every time, even if you screw it up, you can fix it, I think that's where the confidence comes in.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had a good time doing it, and I'm looking forward to my next set of lights.
This is John, pre-runner 1982, with a Radio Comtech quick tip. When installing your CB antenna, make sure the nylon washer is on top of the mount to isolate the antenna from the mount. When working with somebody that has a high SWR issue, this is usually one of the first things that I ask about.
So we do the reviews here from time to time, and of course we had one here recently. Did not get one for this, a new one for this show, but we do like to scroll back, so to speak, and pull out some of the past ones. If you'd like to leave us an iTunes review, please go over to iTunes and find XJ Talk Show, which you probably already know where it is anyway if you're listening, but you can listen to us on iTunes or subscribe to us on iTunes and get every episode. But anyway, go over there, give us a 5-star review, and this one just scrolled up from January 24th of 2014. Pleasant surprise. by another K2. Is that right? Another K2. And 5 stars, I said. I currently drive a 99 Cherokee and love it. It's a do-it-all vehicle. Did random iTunes search for XJ and found your show one night. Downloaded about 6 episodes and listened to them all day at work. Makes the day go by faster. I'm happy to hear all the bashing towards the new Cherokee. Keep up the great work. Well, we really appreciate that, and we're trying to dial back the bashing a little bit.
Well, we're doing our best.
It's hard not to bash the redheaded stepchild. Although if it was redheaded, I'd probably like it better. Hola.
Wait, who are you and what have you done with my friend?
I was going to say, was that you or was that part of the audio track?
It's actually hola, because it's HOLA.
Well, as long as you don't break out the grass skirt and the coconuts and start doing a hula, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah.
Now, you said you liked the coconuts, but it made your mouth itchy.
Oh, boy.
Some people are allergic to coconuts, Tammy. Give me a break.
I do happen to really like coconut, but that's a whole other podcast.
Did you know coconut milk, coconut milk is a natural diuretic?
Didn't know that. Learn something new every day.
If you're ever stranded,
nutrition tip for the day.
If you're ever stranded on a deserted island, or a desert island, as I like to say, and all you have is coconuts, you will be getting jet propelled fairly soon. Anyway,
well,
what's
guys,
up?
Look, there's a laundry list of things that I've got to do to my Jeep here, and one of them that I've been contemplating doing for a while was a WJ knuckle swap.
You need to wash
it.
And
well, yeah, I got to do that too one of these days. But but no, first I got to get it back up and on the road and everything. And right now I've got an axle shaft that I've got to replace as well. Broke another U-joint and destroyed the ears of the passenger side shaft. So that is out of the Jeep right now, and there's a rag stuffed in the axle tube. Now, I'm not driving it. It's not my daily driver. It's just a weekend warrior. So it's not a big deal. And, of course, it sits in the garage most of the time anyway. So and our wheeling season really hasn't opened up yet. We don't really start getting things going until about May. It's still pretty dang soggy up and around here, and I'm not a huge fan of mud to begin with. Granted, I get into it every now and again, and of course the Jeep does get dirty, and I don't mind it, but I would rather prefer the rocks over the mud any day of the week. But that being said, I'm getting to the point where I'm tired of throwing money at my Dana 30. And as much as I've done to it to beef it up and to build it up and everything like that, I kind of look back and wish in retrospect that I would have gone a different direction. Now, my high pinion Dana 30 has done very well. I have abused the living what out of it, and the axle shafts have taken their toll. Usually they're the weakest link and end up is what breaks on the trailer or what have you. So I haven't upgraded to chromoly shafts yet because I figured, okay, if I'm going to be spending $400 on an axle shaft kit, why don't I just spend that kind of money on building up a Dana 44? Now, with that comes a lot of other things that I have to take into consideration. Least of which is, now I got to buy new wheels because a Dana 44 typically doesn't come in a 5 by 4.5 inch lug set. So, there's a lot of things that I've been looking at for the Dana 44, what it's going to cost, what I'm going to be looking at to get into, and what I need to know. And I'm going to share my research with you guys and what I know about the Dana 44s and what it's going to take to put those into a Jeep really quick.
Let me ask you real quick. Are the Dana 44 you're talking about, are you talking about one of the Jeep Cherokee
no,
44s?
This is going to be for the front axle. When I said, the Dana 30, that's the front axle.
No, I understand that, but they did have a Dana 44 for the Cherokees.
Yeah, Jeep did have a Dana 44 for the rear, and that was typically in the earlier model XJs, not the Renix ones. Usually, I haven't seen them too much in the Renix ones, anyways. But typically the later model XJs before 97. The most common years I've seen is 94 to 96, and even some 92s in there. I've seen a couple of them in the junkyards.
So it wasn't the 84s that some of them came with the front Dana 44s. That's why I was
seen a
that's
front
why I was
Dana
asking
44 on a Cherokee.
Yeah, that's why I was asking. I was wondering if you were trying to go find a rare Cherokee Dana 44, or if you were going to have to
the only
modify another
Cherokee
one.
44 that I know of is the rear axle.
Okay.
I don't believe
I
that,
thought
that
there
the
was a
Cherokees
front.
ever came. No, not that I know of. It's always been the Dana 30.
Okay.
So the Dana 44 swap. Now, look, I could go out and do almost a direct swap by getting one out of a Rubicon or something like that. But I'm going to be starting about $1,000 and easily can go into the $1,200 or $1,600 range to get a complete working axle out of a Rubicon. And that would, for all intents and purposes, bolt right up with some minor changes, of course. But I don't really want to spend that kind of money. One, I don't have that kind of money. So what I'd be looking at is getting an axle out of a 76 or 77 Ford F-150. I'd be looking for one that comes with disc brakes and the radius arm wedges that can easily be cut off. Now, the 78 and up axles from the F-150s, which are very common, are cast from the diff to the C's, which make grinding, cutting, and welding a lot more difficult. So yes, it will work, but it's going to be a lot more work to narrow it up. And the reason why you're going to have to narrow that 44 is because the wheel mounting surface to wheel mounting surface is about 76 inches, and unless you're going to be running full width axles front and rear, well, that's going to look really weird matched up to the rear, which is substantially shorter. So you want to be looking for a high pinion, not the low pinion. The low pinion axles are stronger in reverse than they are in forward, and I don't know about you, but I do most of my wheeling going forward. The Chevy Blazer 44s come with a flat top knuckle, but they are typically low pinion, though. So the flat top knuckles are very popular for a high steer conversion. But either way, it's going to have to be narrowed, and that can run you anywhere from about $200 to $400, depending on where you go, unless you do it yourself. And it's easy to do if you've got some fabrication skills. They've covered that process on Extreme 4x4 during the Power Block TV episodes. You guys can check that out as well. Now, these 44s can accept RCV axles, which are known to be the strongest in the industry, and the ring and pinion can be swapped out from a Dana 50, giving it the strength of just about a strength of a Dana 60, but with way more clearance. And of course, with the drilled and tapped knuckles, true high steer, and a lot more strength, not to mention more splines on the axle shafts and larger axle shafts to begin with. Well, it just makes sense, why a 44 is a good option. The problem is that you are going to spend a fair amount of money. Now, all the money and time and expense that I have put into my Dana 30, I could have had a fairly well-built 44 with spare shafts under there by now. And that's where the whole, thing comes in. A lot of people say, it's the Dana 30, or you hear about the Dana 35, for the rear. The Dana 30 really is a good axle. And if you're running 33s or less, it is all the axle you will ever need. Now, I wheel hard. I get into some big rocks, and I do a lot of rock crawling. So I put my Jeep through its paces, and that Dana 30 gets abused more so than just about any other out there with that kind of combination. I'm also locked up front with a Spartan locker, and that makes things, just a little bit more stressful on the axle and its components into itself. So this is why I'm trying to think about whether or not I'm going to go with a 44 or if I just want to keep building up to 33, because I'm still another year or two out before I'm swapping into 35-inch tires and going up in lift and everything else. So, it's just like, well, do I want to keep messing around with this 30 and then have a really, really good Dana 30 when it's all said and done? Or do I want to start over and start looking at a 44? So those are my options right now. That's where it's at. That's what I know. Now, there is a ton of aftermarket support for the 44s out there. So it's a no-brainer when it comes to, support and getting things for it. Just a matter of, finding the cost, finding the deal. And if you guys are looking for a deal on an axle, you do not want to pay more than about $200 for a 44 out of the junkyard or from somebody on Craigslist.
Hey, I have option 3 for you.
I'm all ears.
I know what's coming.
Just do what I did.
Just buy a Wrangler.
Just get a Rubicon. Then you have the 44 in there.
Peace in the world will be accomplished by everybody buying a Wrangler.
Now, I would go with a 44 if I were you, Josh.
Yeah, there's just so much work involved in that. Josh does a lot of rocks, and he beats the hell out of that. If you've ever seen any of his videos, he never goes slow over the rocks either. So something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, something like that is something. The videos that I saw anyway. So something like that is probably a good buy for Josh. Although I've been warned by more than one person that the axles for a Dana 44 are super, super high. And since mine's a daily driver, the thing, I'm going to put a locker in mine. I'm sticking with the Dana 30. I don't blame you, Josh, as far as you keep breaking those ears, throwing U-joints out of those axles. But frankly, I'd go with alloy axles and see what those do for you, because it's, it's $400. And
either way, regardless, I'm going to be doing full circle clips.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. Yeah. I mean, I can always, I'm not going to say always recoup all of my money, but I can certainly get a decent amount of cash on a well-built 30 that is a direct bolt-in into a TJ or into an XJ or something like that. There will be somebody out there that's looking for an axle swap. So, and then that would be an attractive one, especially when it's, locked and built up and everything. Now it's gusseted and everything else. But yeah, so some alloy shafts and some full circle clips, and who knows, that might be good enough for now. So, it's definitely, I'm just weighing my options right now, and I figured I'd share with you guys.
No, it's great to know, even if you're just thinking about it. But realistically, do you have one? I don't want to say have one lined up, because there's money involved.
No, I've just been doing research and kind of pricing out what people are asking for, and typically out here, what I'm seeing is about $300 to $400. And that's what I'm seeing on Craigslist. Now, I've got connections in junkyards and stuff like that, and I haven't actually, gone out and pressed the flesh, as it were, to find out what kind of deals that I can get. But just kind of like what fair market value is for my area out here, I'm seeing about $300 to $400 depending.
But you are seeing them. I mean, you feel confident that you want to go buy one.
Out here in the Portland metro area, there is literally a ton of 44s on Craigslist right now. I think I had like 300 results when I typed in Dana 44 in Craigslist. So,
yeah, but they're not
all of them. Not all of them are relevant. But just to give you an idea, out of those 300, easily half of them were reasonable. Okay, well, that's an option. Now, it's not. There was only a few that really matched the criteria that I was looking for, and that's that 76
some of
to 77.
them are going to be passenger side diff, some are going to
be
some are going to be driver side diff. Yeah, so there's all kinds of things you're looking at there. Right. But at least that was my question, was that at least realistically you could find one.
Easily.
So I'm thinking if you put a truss on the Dana 30 and chrome moly axles, if nothing else, you got something that you can sell. That looks really cool, and you go through a step. You go through the step of the Dana 30 and seeing what it's capable of. I don't think anybody considers a Dana 30 upgrading a Dana 30 polishing a turd. Now, if you do it to a Dana 35, which people are successful with Dana 35s. I mean, Steve 4.3 LXJ that we always turn to for technical information. That's what he's got on his. Now, he does have a Chrysler 8.25 in the garage, being ready to be put in. But I don't know. Yours is strictly an off-road vehicle. I know your significant other was driving the Jeep there around. I guess she has stopped doing that, especially with the current condition that it's in.
Yeah, no, we've got another car for her daily driver now as well, and so the Jeep is since fall has really been strictly now retired as toy status. Now I try and keep it in a position to where if the S hits the fan, we can jump in the Jeep and bounce out and pack something up in the rear and get out of Dodge if we have to. Now, I've got some big stuff coming up where, I'm going to be doing some serious motor work and whatnot, where that's not going to be the case anymore. And I get a little uncomfortable with that. I don't like doing engine teardowns and, axle removals and having the Jeep up on blocks and stuff like that because, I do a lot of work in my garage on other people's vehicles. And so it comes to a point where, my Jeep has pretty much not seen a whole lot of road or wheeling use since about November. So it's one of those things where I really don't want to have the Jeep just tied up in the garage for 3 or 4 months at a time while I'm doing a major conversion on it with something. I want to be able to pull it out and get something else in if I need to work on a buddy's rig or something like that. So.
Yeah, I know it's been seeing a lot of garage time lately. When I say garage time, I don't mean work on it. I mean just sitting in there. So that's got to bother you. I know exactly what you mean as far as it being down. Now, Mine is generally never down. It's got modifications waiting, but since mine's a daily driver, it gets from point A to point B. But I do need to pull out that front drive shaft and replace all the U-joints and that little, I don't know, what do you call it, the little ball thing? I actually got a new one of those too, so I'm going to be doing a full rebuild on that. And
very nice.
Yeah, I think that'll work out. But I agree. It's always concerning whenever you have a go anywhere vehicle and it can't go anywhere.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, I want to know what is happening in the life of Purple and Tammy's Jeep. Tammy, what have you done recently?
Well, I finally replaced my D-rings, and I decided so no one would steal them. And yes, I honestly believe the one was stolen. It didn't rattle off. I mean, I go to the grocery store and to school, so it's not like I'm doing a whole lot of driving. But anyway, I got my D-rings painted plum crazy purple to match my grill inserts. And so I figure not many people are going to want purple D-rings. So I'm actually, it was kind of a blessing in disguise that I was missing that one, because I've seen some rust in the tow hook, the holes where the D-rings go in. So now I've been getting rid of that rust, and I will be putting them on tomorrow, and I'll have the purple D-rings. And as a matter of fact, next week I have something else that's purple. It was a gift from a follower who's in California, and he thought I would like it. So I'll tell you guys about that next week in our fireside chat.
So I got to ask.
Such a tease.
So I got to ask. I think it was before the show started. You mentioned that you got a high lift jack, and I gave you I gave you a hard time about, well, where is it? Because I know how small the Wranglers are. There's no place to put it unless you've mounted it on someplace, and I haven't seen the picture, so I figured it was in the garage, which it was. But have you thought about painting the high lift jack? Because you're going to be mounting it outside, which I've understood is not a great place to mount a high lift, because they're dangerous if they're well maintained at best. Whenever they're putting the elements repeatedly. But I'm thinking a nice purple high lift jack would look very nice.
That's a good idea. I haven't really. First, I want to learn how to use it. I don't, because I hear they're pretty dangerous.
Good idea.
The person who sent the jack to me suggested that I can put it under. It fits underneath the passenger seats of the Wrangler, so I'm going to test that out. And you can bungee it to the seats and stuff. So I'll have to do a little research to see what I want to do with that.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned
there are a ton of aftermarket options out there for high lift mounting components for high lift jacks and a Wrangler. I mean, anything from roll bar mounts to seat bolt mounts to we'll get into another product here in the Amazon segment coming up.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned bungee cord, because you definitely want to make sure that in any four-wheel drive that you take any large hunks of metal and tie them down, because you never know,
heavy or loose, really.
Yeah, well, in this case, the heavy metal of the high lift jack, because you don't know when you're going to roll over, and you don't want the first thought going through your head to be, is that a high lift jack going through my head? Because they will find the worst place to go. So yeah, you definitely want to put them where it'd be nice and secure, or outside. So either way, I think they look kind of cool. And if you paint it purple, it would look kind of nice mounted to the hood. Yeah.
Someone else suggested if I get a winch, to paint that purple or find a purple one too.
I think that's going too far. All right. Well, I don't have anything to report other than I've just been driving mine back and forth to work every day, and just
no more hit and runs.
Amazing people. Now, I did actually schedule the inspection, damage inspection, and believe it or not, I guess after reviewing the video that I had put up on YouTube for Geico, reviewing that video for, a week or 2 weeks before they got back with me, they sent me an email saying, "Yeah, we think it was not your fault." And would you like to schedule a review of your damages? So apparently they've got a lot of hit and run insurees, because the first appointment I could get, at least for a Saturday, was April the 4th. So I'll be,
oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'll be taking it down to some place that's about 2 miles away from here, thankfully, on a Saturday morning around 11 because, I don't want to get up early. And they'll look at the tire, and I'll tell them about the wheel bearing assembly and the Synergy ball joints that I have on there, and everything seems to be fine, but I don't know what damage may have been done with these other components because that was a hit to the side. Well, isn't this an off-road device? Isn't this something that you take off-road and beat to hell anyway? Well, that's not the point.
Right.
So I was hit. So who knows what damage was incurred. So I'm not really that concerned about it, but I'm afraid that what I'm going to basically get is like, here's $100 for your worn tire because it's not a new tire. So, here's $100, and I'm going to go, I can't buy a new tire for $100.
No.
And I can't buy one tire. This is a 4-wheel drive. I can't
you need 5.
I can't buy 2. I need a minimum of 4 tires.
That's right.
So, I don't know. I'm not that worried about it. I would like for somebody to explain to the person that hit me and ran away that they shouldn't do that. That's wrong. That's bad. So anyway, I do want to be reimbursed for the tire damage that I had. And as a friend of mine was telling me, I need to examine that bushwhacker flare that I have on that side very carefully and make sure there was no contact. I don't think there was, but I do need to examine it very carefully to make sure that that's not damaged as well before I go to that meeting.
Indeed.
Real quick, the boys in the chat room, yes, I know they're shackles. I just keep calling them D-rings for some reason.
They're D-rings, damn it, and that's what you should call them. They are in the shape of a D. No, I think that you can go back and forth with either one of those. I call them D-rings because that's what I call them. What do you call them, Josh?
Both.
Yeah.
I call them a D-ring shackle.
Straddling the fence will send you to hell, my friend. Did you ever hear that in Sunday school? You can't straddle the fence. It'll poke you in the bass. No, they never said that. That was me doodling. Okay, so I think that's enough of that, and let's put out the campfire and put Smokey Bear to bed. I'm looking for it.
This is Steve, 4.3 LXJ, with a quick Jeep tip. Always carry proper foot gear. And by proper foot gear, I mean if you have to walk, you better have some boots or something on, because those bedroom slippers or flip-flops you might be wearing aren't going to cut it. And if you're in a situation where you have to walk, or if you have to get out and pull winch line or anything like that, you want to have the right kind of shoes or boots on your feet so that you don't injure yourself or later on just plain wish you hadn't done that.
Yeah, that's funny because we were talking about Rini earlier today, and that reminded me the few times that I've been off-road. One of the times I went, actually a couple of times, Rini was out there with us, and he always wore Crocs.
Crocs are so bad.
You'd see him flopping around in those Crocs, pulling winch cable, trudging through water. It was horrible. And, but, he's still got all his little toes, so I guess he's doing all right.
Hey, yeah. Well, speaking of things that are all right, we've got a product review coming from the one and only Jeep Mama.
Yeah.
Tammy, what do you got this week?
Actually, I thought I'd mention Tammy is talking about getting these things from you fine folks out there. You just keep sending them in because we're going to have this reviews segment. So keep sending Tammy stuff so she can review, and she's going to be mentioning your product and your name. And if it's a bad product, don't send it to her because she will let you know it's a bad product, right, Tammy?
Yeah, and
yes,
all of her followers on her blog, and of course all of her fans here on the show as well. A lot of exposure and a lot of great opportunity to get your product and your name out there with a review from Jeep Mama.
Well, today I'm going to review my Raxium LED 3-inch lights that I got from Extreme Terrain. They're 3-inch square, auxiliary LED lights, and they're 3 inches by 3 inches by 3 inches. They have a 40-degree flood beam pattern. They have 4 3-watt high-intensity LEDs, and their output is 1,254 lumens, and their color temperature is 6,000 K. And they're in a die-cast aluminum housing with polycarbonate lenses, the waterproof rating of IP67. It's a universal application with a lifetime limited warranty. First, let's start with the look. Now, I like the look of these lights because of their size. They aren't so big that they overpower the look of the front of my Jeep. They don't make my Jeep look like I'm ready to go coon hunting in the backwoods of West Virginia. And no offense to those coon hunters in West Virginia, but that's just not the look I was going for. I wanted the sleek, subtle look for my Jeep. Now, remember, I put mine up on the A-pillars. And the location of these lights can be placed in several places on your Jeep. They're meant for the front bumper. Extreme Terrain sells the barricade front bumper, and you can place them right on top of the bar. But I decided to put them on the A-pillar up on the windshield. Some people said this would cause some glare on the hood. And once I tested them, the glare wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be. And actually, I didn't really think there was much of a glare. And I didn't think it was that big of an issue. I call it a reflection more than a glare. But I don't take my Jeep. Well, when I take my Jeep off-roading, I'm not going that fast. So the glare really isn't going to be that much of an issue for me. And it definitely, I just lost my spot here. There I go. Okay, the trails I run, like I said, I don't go over 25 miles per hour, so I don't think it would be a good idea to use these lights when you're driving down the highway or even in a neighborhood because they're really bright and they could blind an oncoming car. And I know when I'm out driving around and you're coming out upon a car with some bright lights, it can be very distracting. And remember that each state has different laws for lights. Here in Maryland, I can only use one of the off-roading lights. So it's kind of pointless for me to have them both on when I'm out driving because I could get a ticket. Okay, now on to the install. The install of these lights was very simple. There was just a couple of steps, and the wiring was pretty simple as well with the wiring kit. And you can check out the steps on my blog at www.jeepmama.com. I had the step-by-step instructions for mounting and wiring. And I also did an install video, and it's on my YouTube channel. You just search the Jeep Mama. And for someone who has never done this sort of install, it's very simple and easy. I just needed to order some A-pillar brackets or A-pillar mounts for the lights. And for the wiring, I used the Lifetime LED switch and wiring kit. And these lights are a great start for the light modifications of your Jeep. They are super bright. I was very surprised at how bright they were. I wasn't expecting them to light up my whole front yard when I did the test. But before I installed it, I didn't think I would care either way if they were bright or not. But now that I see how bright they are, I'm like super excited to be able to use them when I go off-roading. They weren't the top of my priority list, but now I'm glad I have them, and they're going to be an added bonus. The wiring kit that I bought for the light, or that I got for the lights, was the wires, the on-off switch, the relay, the fuse. It was $24. Both the lights you can get for $69.99 at Extreme Terrain. The light mounts were about $35. And I did a quick little search on the internet just a little while ago to compare prices. And these lights are pretty comparable for what you're getting with other lights. There are lots of other styles out there, but I like the square shape because it seems to fit the boxy look of the Wrangler. And I would definitely recommend these to a friend, and I give them a 5-star rating.
Now, Tammy,
Very good.
Tammy, do you have any new LED lights in the future? I mean, are you thinking about more lighting now?
Yeah, I want the smaller rectangle. I think it's probably maybe 5 to 7 inches that I want to place on my bumper, which would go right above where a winch would go. And I'm tempted to do, I think it's the 50-inch light bar that goes on your above your windshield. Mm-hmm. And I definitely want 2 more of these to put in the back of the Jeep, because that seems to be a real issue when you're backing up in the dark.
Well, I had a friend that actually was going down a trail at night alone, and got to a point, it was an unknown trail, and got to a point where they had to back up like over a mile.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And I think his father-in-law was with him. He literally had to carry a flashlight and walk behind I think the guy had a Toyota or a Nissan. He literally had to walk behind the vehicle and shine the light so this guy could see backing down the trail. So don't forget about the lights in the back, folks, because
Right.
you never know.
Well, and when you're in a Wrangler too, the vinyl back window is really, if it gets really dirty, we don't have windshield washer or
Right.
wipers back there to clean it. And it can be very difficult to see. Even driving around the neighborhood and out to the grocery store, it's difficult.
Now, you mentioned you don't want to drive with those lights on because you might blind somebody. Another take on this may be if you have stages of lights, you could actually get into a nice duel with people that want to hit the brights on you, because you do your first stage light, then your second stage light, and then the big mama. and then at that point they just start swerving back and forth, and you can tell what religion they are and their future children that's so bright on them. So yeah. Anyway, don't do that. Don't be like me, kids. Don't be like me. Well, that's great. Josh, I cut you off earlier. Did you have something you wanted to add?
No, that's we pretty much covered it all. But I'm just glad to hear the review on those 3-inch lights. I mean, there are a ton of options out there for LED lights nowadays, and they're actually starting to get pretty dang affordable. So by all means, go check out those Raxium 3-inch LED lights. Sounds like they're a great option for an A-pillar mount. If you guys don't have a light there and you're looking for some more, well, by all means, go and check those out.
Yeah, and xjtalk.com didn't send us the lights, but they sent it to Tammy, and we really appreciate you guys doing that, and because it gives us a little review segment we can do here on the show. So all you guys go over to xtremeterrain.com and check out all the goodies they have over there. So now we need to do a little Amazon thing, I think.
Amazon.com and the XJ Talk Show present You Bought What?
Now I have to ask, every stinking time we do this, what is this all about, Josh?
It's about a lot of fun. We encourage you guys, if you're going to be doing some online shopping, to please head over to xjtalk.com or xjtalkshow.com and find the Amazon banner right there on the homepage. We encourage you guys to click on that before you do any shopping online. It'll take you straight to amazon.com, where you can purchase, well, just about anything under the sun. And, we've had some curveballs thrown at us every now and again. You guys do a great job with that. But it's typically Jeep parts, electronics, all kinds of good stuff. Pretty much, if you are buying something online, you want to check it out over at Amazon.com. One of the best selections, and of course, the prices cannot be beat. Head over to Amazon.com and find what you're looking for. But before you do, please click on our banner over at xjtalk.com or xjtalkshow.com. And, what happens is Amazon's agreed to give us a small little kickback from your purchase. A great way to help support your favorite off-road podcast. Keeps the lights on at XJ Talk Central. And, of course, we get a list of what you guys are buying. Now, we don't get to see who is buying what. All we get to see are, the purchases. And, we have some fun with it. It's called Amazon You Bought What.
Yeah, we really enjoy you guys taking the time to go over there and click on our link and then go to Amazon and buy stuff. Now, the cool thing is that if you go to a public library and you go to our website and click on the link, if anybody else buys anything from Amazon within 24 hours, we'll get credit for it. So I'm not saying you should do that, but I'm just saying you could do that.
I'm saying you should do that. By all means, head over to every library within your area and click those buttons.
That's a good idea.
Isn't it though?
All righty.
So,
what do we got? Am I starting? Okay, good.
Well, by all means, you got some good stuff tonight, so I want to get into this.
All right. Well, this one is and I'm probably not pronouncing this correctly. It looks like Seiki. It's SEIKI, 48-inch, 1080p, 60 hertz LED TV. Now, that's something you need to mount on the front of your Jeep.
There you go.
It's got LEDs, right? So this is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Good for a tailgate party.
It would be. This is absolutely amazing. It is a 48-inch LED TV, and this person purchased it from Amazon.com for $389.99. Can you believe? I mean, under $400. This is the neat thing about technology. It gets cheaper as time goes on. So this thing has a refresh rate of 60 hertz. It is a backlit LED full array. I'm not sure about the partial arrays. It's has smart functionality? No. So this is just a basic TV. Anything you want to do smart needs to happen external to this. So this thing is just amazing. I mean, it has 3 HDMI inputs, 1 USB, and 1 VGA. Yep, you can use this as a computer monitor, folks.
Cool.
Really impressed the grandkids. So accessories included, remote with batteries. It couldn't be better unless it did Windows.
Very interesting. Yeah, well, washing the windows, that is.
Wash on, wash off.
Well, I love the stuff out of the automotive section, and I kind of teased this earlier, guys. This is the Jeep Wrangler 87 to 06 YJ and TJ hood hinge high lift jack mount. It's only about $35 for this kit, and then, well, another $10-12 for shipping, of course. You get 2 of these brackets. They're 3 16-inch tempered steel jack mounting brackets with a padlock mount. The lock is, of course, sold separately. All mounting hardware is included for any YJ or TJ, and jack mounting hardware, of course, is included, but the jack is sold separately. It mounts in all of about 15 minutes if you can read simple directions, and the stainless steel mounting hardware, well, it's going to prevent that rusty nut syndrome.
Oh,
geez.
Sounds painful when you say it, Josh.
Mounting and rusty nuts.
So I forgot to do something that I've been meaning to do, and after that, especially after that TV purchase, I need to give you a salute and say thank you for going over to Amazon.com and clicking on our link first before you do. And like Josh said, XJ Talk Show and xjtalkshow.com, you'll see the Amazon banner and just click and go. So anyway, here we have, I don't know, maybe this is a fellow podcaster, Josh, but somebody bought a Behringer Xenix 302 USB. It's a little mixer. It has inputs for a microphone, has an output for headphones. So, I mean, it's a really small, compact little unit. And I was just really amazed to see this. You guys should head over to Amazon.com and have a look, especially if you're thinking about doing some segments for XJ Talk Show. It might help you out. You'll still have to get a microphone and stuff, but this is a great little unit that you can start off with. It's ultra compact, ultra low noise analog mixer with USB audio interface. Though that means you can plug it into the computer, folks. Powered through USB or external power adapter, which is included. Built-in stereo USB audio interfaced to connect directly to your computer. Oh, what is this? Traction for music production software included free of charge to help you realize your creative potential. State-of-the-art phantom-powered Xenix mic preamp comparable to the standalone boutique preamps. So that phantom power, like if your first mic is a condenser mic, as many people do use condenser mics, although they shouldn't because they are wildly sensitive and omnidirectional. But
you can hear typing.
Yes, you wind up needing on many of them. You wind up needing phantom power so that you can actually power the condenser portion of the microphone. So this thing will provide that. So I got to admit, my first microphone was a condenser microphone. I mean, if you look at a $300 dynamic microphone or a very sensitive condenser microphone that looks really cool for $40, what are you going to do? So
exactly.
I eventually went with the dynamic microphone, and Josh does a lot of things in his studio to make things quiet enough where he can use the condenser. So it can be done. I got too much noise in here, so I went with the dynamic.
Now, I went with a different product that I'm not sure what's going to give you, but this is called the Neti Stick Aromatherapy Inhaler. It comes with a pack of 2. It's only $13.50. An all-natural aromatherapy inhaler. Breathe easier anytime. Contains an energized blend of peppermint, eucalyptus, menthol, and lavender essential oils. Ooh, doesn't that sound nice? Provides natural support for sinus congestion.
You need to.
Oh, is that right? Provides natural support for sinus congestion relief during cold, flu, and allergy seasons. Helps stimulate the mental energy and focus of your mind, brain, and head. Opens the sinuses and clears the mind, and now is 100% crack cocaine free.
That's like $13.50, right? That's not bad.
No.
I really think I want one of those.
So, Tammy, you mentioned that your husband buys a lot of stuff on Amazon. Are you guys Prime members?
He is. Yeah.
Well, if he is, you are. Because all you have to do is say, "Hey, order me that."
Well, yeah, that's true.
Pretty much
That's true.
If you guys are, and when I say you guys, I mean whoever is listening to the sound of my voice right now. If you're buying things online at least 3 or 4 times a year or more, then really Amazon Prime is pretty much going to pay for itself. Especially if you're looking at any big ticket items or any heavier items, because you get 2-day free shipping, and of course there's a slew of other benefits that come with it, like streaming video, movie rental, stuff like that. And of course, all the music that they've got at your fingertips as well. So Amazon Prime is where it's at. If you are an online shopper, which pretty much all of us are getting to that stage more and more as the years go on, please consider checking out Amazon Prime and getting your membership now. And of course, even if you do or don't, by all means, head over to xjtalk.com or xjtalkshow.com and click on our Amazon banner before you do any online shopping at all.
You know, lots of
and
people.
Sometimes they deliver it like the next day. Yeah. It's like
instant
super fast
gratification.
shipping.
Yeah, it's really nice. I mean, I know a lot of people like to go to the store and get it because they can have it right there in their grimy little hands immediately. But you know, driving the vehicle down there, stopping, getting headbutted by a Walmart employee. It's just it's just so nice just to come home from work and go, ooh, goodies. And if you buy too much stuff from Amazon, you go, ooh, goodies. Well, what the hell is that? I forgot what that was.
I don't remember ordering that.
Oh, and it's like Christmas because you forgot what you ordered and you open it up and go, oh yeah, I remember that. So anyway, lots of good times with Amazon.com and the Prime memberships. I will just mention not all items are available for Prime. A lot of them are, and if you can't find it, if it doesn't come up immediately, you kind of dig around. You can often find somebody that will sell it for Prime and take care of the quick shipping. And gosh, I think especially at Christmas time, I've done the overnight shipping. It was extra $4 to have it done overnight, and I've had things delivered on Christmas Eve. So it's pretty cool. It's a nice thing to have. Also, too, they do gift cards. So you can just email somebody a present last minute.
We just found out what you bought.
Oh, my God. I just can't believe that made it on the list.
All right. Now, we have this new segment that I'm really enjoying, and Josh is going to tell us where you can wheel.
Yeah, we call Wheel and Wear. We're going to get a little bit of a promo going for this one of these days, guys. But this is where we talk about what events are coming up in your neck of the woods and around the nation. So what's happening now? Well, I've got a couple here for you, and one of them you are definitely going to recognize. But first, it's the offroadevents.com presents the first annual Hit the Dust Wheeling and Vendor event happening Thursday, April 9th through Sunday, April 12th. 2015, of course, at Barnwell Mountain Recreation Area in Gilmer, Texas. For more information, head over to events at offroadevents.com. Red Rock Four-Wheelers are hosting the 49th annual Easter Jeep Safari, happening Saturday, March 28th through Sunday, April 5th, all going down, of course, in Moab, Utah. For more information, as if you need to know, head over to www.rr4w.com. That's it for this week, guys. If you got an event coming up in your area, let's get the word out. Whether it's a show and shine, a cruise in, a club run, fundraiser, or a huge event like the Easter Jeep Safari, let us know by giving us a call or sending us an email to newstips@xjtalkshow.com.
Abso-freaking-lutely. Well, we ran a little late tonight, but actually, Josh, it's not that late.
No.
No, this is pretty early.
Well, we kind of got started on time. No, we didn't.
Well, guys, look, everybody has got a Jeep story to tell. If you've had an interesting wheeling adventure recently or you got one coming up, maybe you want to talk about your build or something, well, we want to hear about it. We could get you guys on the show. We'd want to hear about, well, maybe thinking about doing an interview with you. 530-675-4102. It's our 24/7 voicemail line. By all means, drop us a line, even if it's just to say hi.
Oh, and I want to mention, when is the Day of the Dirt run that John Pre-Runner 1982 is going to be doing?
You would, of course, have to put me on the spot with that. I'm going
is it
to
in
feel
October?
Horrible.
It's
right
coming
now.
up.
I thought it's coming up. I think he's got like a week or two.
Well,
or
we
less.
need that. We need to have that in the in what's going on. I mean, I know he doesn't need any more Jeeps out there. I mean,
yeah, I know.
Isn't
He's
over
got
100?
like 100+ rigs, on this.
Jeez.
And it was just
Yeah.
this thing has turned into a huge event for him. And this is actually, guys, an event hosted by our friend of the show, John Pre-Runner 1982. He put this thing together a few years ago, and it's been getting so bigger and bigger every year. It's an awesome event and a lot of history and stuff, and really cool scenery as well.
Yeah,
he's got a lot of pictures over at xjtalk.com, so make sure you guys go check out those. And we want you guys to be checking out our Facebook page as well, facebook.com/xjtalk.page. And of course, make sure you guys are including us in your tweets at xjtalk.
So the Day of the Dirt thing is basically they go through this historical drive, and there's all kinds of old houses, old places. It's some of the. I'm not sure if any of it's paved. It might all be dirt, and it's not anything other than what you would be considered doing light off-roading. It's a great thing for the family because nobody's going to get car sick, more than likely, and they're just. You go and you stop and you look and you take pictures, and it's a great outing. So I think that's one of the reasons why John's getting such a great interest in this, because everybody can go. But like Josh said, just go over to xjtalk.com and look for Day of the Dirt, and you can get more information on it. I'm sorry we didn't have a specific date for that tonight, though.
Yeah, man, we'll have that next week. And in the meantime, guys, make sure you're telling a friend about the XJ Talk Show. We'll see you next week.
Yep. You guys have a great Jeep week, and thank you, Tammy.
See you later.
And now I have to think about what I'm doing and pull up the right graphics. Well, last week's show, I'm not going to say it was awkward. It felt a little different with the three of us doing the show, and because you get that dynamic, that back and forth dynamic between two people. And I thought tonight it went a lot better. I mean,
I would have to agree.
I know Tammy didn't get in there as much as what I would have liked for her to, but I think that's something that we need to work on for the timing to allow everybody to get in and say stuff. I know Josh and I both have a tendency to start filibustering when we start talking.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just now all of a sudden I'm typing the promo script.
Wow, it was a wild night in chat tonight.
Yeah, they were a little crazy. I'm sad that I missed it. I was too busy talking. I couldn't keep
that's
up.
me too.
No, we had some.
I saw it
guys
going
in rare form there tonight.
Yeah, I saw it going, and I read a couple of the things, but with the two things I got to do over here, it was kind of hard for me to do that. But I think you mentioned one of the folks earlier in the. I think it was before the show, but I want to kind of do an official shout out here for the folks that joined us in the both the live show and in the chat room. There's Chris, Paps Boys. Let's see, what else? Who else do we have there? Of course, Josh, Jeep Mama, myself. Here's a Jeep Anywhere.
We had Charles in there as well. 4.3 LXJ. That's our friend Steve. He was in there a little bit earlier as well. Yeah, big full chat room tonight. So thank you to all you fellas and guys and gals and everybody else in the chat room who show up each and every week, and those who are new to the show as well.
Yeah, we want to encourage you guys to come on over to the live show, and that way you don't have to wait till Monday to hear the audio show, and you also get a chance to show your colors, so to speak, in the chat room, and it looks like everybody had a great time chatting it up.
Oh yeah.
Just scrolling down through here to see, make sure I didn't miss anybody that was in chat. Don't see anything.
Oh, 92 Warwagon just joined us.
Oh, late as usual. That's a friend of Josh's.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was actually talking to him through text just a minute ago. He's having some bad internet issues, so he cannot stream the show like he used to.
Oh, it's the old bad internet thing.
Uh-huh.
Bad internet and like a 10-year-old computer. So yeah, he's got a double whammy.
Yeah, but the Jeep runs, right?
Exactly. That's all that's important. As long as the war wagon's running.
What kind of Jeep does he have?
He's got a 92 XJ. He's got a 4.5-inch rough country long arm lift on it, some 33-inch Pro Comp mud terrain 2s, and a CB, some tow points, and that's about it for now.
Oh, that was one of the things.
He did just put on a new exhaust here recently. It sounds pretty dang good.
I was looking at a CB purchase on Amazon.com. One of the purchases was a CB, which is kind of cool.
I think that might have been his. I know that some of there was like some coax and some connectors and stuff like that. I know that was his as well. Wes is his name, 92 Warwagon. He purchases a lot of stuff through Amazon. He's probably one of our biggest supporters.
Oh, great. So did you see that post about JCR Off-Road building an antenna mount for the XJ?
No, I didn't, but I'm not surprised. I mean, that's pretty much par for the course as far as, stuff that they would offer. It seems like a natural item for them.
It looks like it mounts under the one of the tail lights, and it looks like a nice folded piece of metal that isn't some jagged thing that somebody cut out with a cutoff wheel. So it's nice and folded and small. It doesn't stick out a long ways, which is often a concern when you're going off road. How long is it going to be before you rip the antenna mount off your vehicle? But anyway, you guys should check that out over on xjtalk.com. Well, I got a couple of folks here that have to get to bed, so we're going to wrap this thing up so we can record our promo. And don't forget to tell your friends about this show. We're trying to get more and more listeners, get the word out. If you guys enjoy this show and if you like xjtalk.com, please tell your friends because, our self-worth is just tied to how many people like us. So we need that. We need that badly. And when I say we, I'm talking about me and the mouse in my pocket. Anywho, you guys have a great night, and we will see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good night. Have a good night, guys.
Now's a good time to mess up.
Yeah, I know, right?